Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again. We're back to another episode of NRR. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2022 Firekeepers Casino 400 from Michigan International Speedway, just an hour outside of Detroit. That's a bad city, but that doesn't matter. What a race it was, literally. Like I said in the intro, best Michigan race I've ever seen in a while. 2016... Kyle Larson got his first win. 2017, Larson, that was Larson land. 2018, I don't want to get started with that package. In 2019, same thing, but Harvick was good. In 2020, complete Harvick. 2021 was probably the best one before coming into today, before I saw it. Whatever. Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again. We're back to another episode of NRR. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the 2022 Firekeepers Casino 400 from Michigan International Speedway. The track is just about an hour outside of Detroit, which is known as a bad city, but still, today's race was pretty good. Like I said in the intro, best Michigan race I've probably ever seen in a while. 2016, all I remember is Larson got his first win. 2017, it was Larson land. 2018 and 2019, don't get me started with those rules packages. 2020, it was Harvick land, and it still is. 2021 was probably the best one. Yeah, best race at Michigan I saw before today, but today completely stole the show. A lot of good passing. It was it was hard to pass, with Bell and Suarez and then the Bubba and Logano, but it was still pretty good racing. The restarts were pretty crazy. Definitely an upgrade after the chaos that we just saw at the Indy Road Course. But we have a lot to review today. We have a new winner in the playoffs. One more spot remains, so we're going to look at our top 10 finishers. Then we're going to be rating the race. We're going to be talking about the biggest story of the race, and that will be about the playoff cut line. And then after that, we will look at our drivers of the day and end it off looking at the playoff picture going in to Richmond next week with just 3 races remaining. So let's go ahead and dive on into this review. Finishing in first was Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick finally comes in clutch and is able to get the win at Michigan. His first win of the season, his 59th career win, 1 away from 60. His 6th win at Michigan. That's his 5th win at Michigan in the last 7 races at this track. 15th playoff driver in, 1 spot remains, like I said before. He ends his 65 race winless streak since Bristol 2020 in the fall, and also 2nd win for SHR in 2022, and 8th straight win at Michigan for Ford. Really, really impressive. It's been really good for Kevin Harvick. These last couple weeks have been a struggle. 27th at Pocono because he got caught up in Hamlin and Chastain's mess, and then 33rd at the Brickyard where I kind of got pissed off at him, but he took himself out. But hey, I would be a little bit more mad, but I'm not going to be that mad because Bowman still got a top 10. But still, Harvick has just been up and down all season long. He's been up there in the playoffs for a little while at the start, and then started plummeting as new winners kept winning, and then he was below the cut line coming in today about, I don't know, 50 points, but now he's able to get the win and locks in that 15th playoff spot. He is all good. One more spot remains with just 3 races to go. What a win for Kevin Harvick. He just came in clutch. Bubba Wallace really could have caught him, but hey, caution didn't come out. Harvick was just hoping for that in those last 5 laps, but he was able to get the win. Really emotional win for him, as you guys heard over the radio. A really cool interview for him when he was talking to Marty Snyder, and he was just celebrating with his daughter. Really cool just moment for Harvick. I think he's going to take this one in coming into the playoffs, but just what a race for Harvick. Even though I was mad at him last week, you have to give a tip of the cap right there. Just some respect for Harvick. It kind of feels cool to see some of these drivers who have some long winless streaks and finally able to get it done. I have to admit, I was kind of the same way with Kyle Busch. I was kind of iffy. Kyle Busch not my favorite, but I'm kind of the same with Kevin Harvick. Really cool to see him return to victory lane in 65 races, well over a year. Finishing in runner-up position was Bubba Wallace. Just a heartbreaking finish for Bubba Wallace. The weekend started off really great. He was the fastest one in practice, and he was able to get his first career pole, which actually he's the first African-American to win the pole since Wendell Scott did back in 1962 at Savannah Speedway in Georgia. So 60 years, and also the first pole for 2311 Racing. Really cool historic moment for Bubba Wallace. And he was running really good up front in the start. Then kind of got shuffled back with some strategy and some cautions coming out of here. But he was still really competitive, running in the top 10, top 15 for most of the day. And then when it really mattered most on that one restart, he was getting held up by Joey Logano. It was kind of frustrating to watch, to see how he couldn't get around him. So that's kind of some of the package that we saw in Michigan, probably like 2018, 2019, that I did not like seeing. I also saw the same thing with Christopher Bell and Daniel Suarez at the beginning of this final stage, but Bubba Wallace eventually got through him. The chase was on between him and Kevin Harvick, but it was just too little too late. Needed a caution. He had a couple times when Blaney hit the wall, and when Suarez had a tire go down, just was not enough for a caution to draw. Sucks for Bubba Wallace, but hey, that's 4 straight top 10 finishes for him. Really cool streak that he's on. Hopefully this momentum can go into Richmond next week, because I believe that at Richmond earlier this year he finished 26, so hopefully some momentum going in on their side. But still heartbreaking, really tough for Bubba Wallace, because I bet he knows that these next 2 races he does not have a shot to win, so it sucks that he has to leave it up to Daytona to find out if he can win. I mean, he finished second in Daytona the last 2 races. I mean, earlier this year in the Daytona 500 and the last summer race. Well, because Chris Buescher he got disqualified, but still. So we'll just see what happens for Bubba Wallace, but still heartbreaking moment for him and the 23 team. Another driver with a bit of a heartbreaker was Denny Hamlin. I mean, Hamlin was definitely one of the fastest cars all weekend long. I mean, he started 9th in today's race. Also, this is his first top 5 for the 11 team since he got his win back in the Coke 600. So first top 5 in a while for the number 11 team. But still, Hamlin was definitely one of the strongest cars out there. He led a few laps pretty earlier in this race. He won stage 2. He was looking really promising. He was closing in on that one battle between Chastain and Suarez, the 2 Trackhouse teammates. But then once that one caution came out with Christopher Bell, he had a pit road penalty. That's his 31st penalty of the season. That was definitely costly. You just cannot beat that. 31 penalties in 23 races. Like, let me do the math. That's an average of at least 1.3 penalties a race. So that is just very tough for Denny Hamlin. And he was catching them. Literally, he finished 3rd in today's race. Just imagine if he didn't have that penalty, what could have been for the 11 team. So a bit of a heartbreaker on Hamlin's part as well. Finishing in P4 was Joey Logano, and likewise with Denny Hamlin, this is also Logano's first top 5 finish since he got his win back in St. Louis in early June. But still, coming back to that, can we all admit Logano is the new Ryan Newman when it comes to roadblock? I mean, literally, this guy had a freaking dump truck 5-lane highway. Like, literally, I mean, I can't really say 5-lane highway. I'll probably say 4-lane because he has the regular Gen 6 car. Now, if I had the next gen car of Joey Logano, then hell yeah, we can make that meme. But still, man, Joey Logano, what a pain he was today. It really sucked how he was holding up Bubba Wallace when Bubba was clearly the faster car, but it's just racing, I guess. So that's 2 straight top 10 finishes for Logano. At least this top 10 finish was more deserved than last week after he did such a dumb move, but Logano got it done at the end of the day. I mean, Logano's good at Michigan. I mean, Logano's always going to run up front at Michigan. I mean, just like with Kevin Harvick, I believe Logano's won like 3 of the last 8 races at Michigan. So, or 2 of the last 8 races, something like that. But still, he's pretty strong here. Had a nice finish. So, top 5 finish for the 22 team. Pretty good day. And rounding out the top 5 and 5th was Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney's weekend was not up to par. Literally he started 24th in today's race. I mean, he made up some spots pretty early, and also this is his first top 5 since Atlanta last July. But still, Ryan Blaney, he won this race a year ago. I mean, he just didn't have the fastest car out there. Definitely did not have the fastest Ford. I don't know what to say about Ryan Blaney anymore, because the first stage didn't go well because Truex got like 7 points, Blaney got 0, so it's been a bit of a struggle. And heck, him and Truex were actually battling towards the end, and Blaney at one point hit the wall. So I don't know. I could kind of tell. You can kind of tell when Harvick was leading. You have Truex and Blaney sitting in like top 5, top 10. That there's some sort of frustration going inside their mind, thinking, he wins, then it's just down to me and Truex, and there's only 1 spot left, and Blaney's currently like 20 points above the cut line over Mark Truex Jr. So the pressure is building upon them, and it's not going to do any better for Ryan Blaney because now we're going to Richmond, where Blaney actually was running good at Richmond at the start. Okay, listen to me when I say that again. At the start of the race at Richmond, because I believed he finished, where did he finish? I think he finished like 7th, and he won the pole there. That's not bad, but Truex definitely had the better car. So hopefully things can go right for Blaney in these next few weeks. Finishing in 6th was Martrix Jr. Martrix Jr. He was getting frustrated at one point. I mean, he was arguing with his crew chief, James Small, at one point during the race, talking about, oh, not getting stage points, probably after the second stage. But he got stage points in the first stage, but still just needs more because he knows that there is going to be a new winner coming in. I don't know, but Truex had a decent race. I mean, he started 7th today. Really, the Toyotas were all fast, but we saw some issues with the Toyota teams. I mean, Kyle Busch wrecked out early, not his fault. And then Ty Gibbs was actually running pretty well, but Wallace was running well. Hamlin was running well, but he had some penalties. And then Christopher Bell made a dumb mistake and took himself out when he was racing with Ross Chastain. But still, it does suck for Martin Truex Jr. in the 19 team. I mean, like I said before, we're going to Richmond, which is probably his number one track. I mean, Truex needs to make the playoffs. He has to get it done next week. He was really close last time. He finished 4th there, but just did not have the long run car because Hamlin and Harvick were running really well. But then you have Watkins Glen, where Toyota has been an absolute struggle. I mean, Truex has kind of gotten a little bit better, but it's not enough to win. You have to win. And then Daytona, I mean, I know he had a top 5 at Talladega, which is unlike for Martin Truex Jr., but you cannot guarantee that. So the pressure is on for Blaney and also for Martin Truex Jr. Finishing in 7th was Kyle Larson. Started to see a little bit of a resurgence of Kyle Larson, but not only him, but just for Hendrick Motorsports, well, probably minus Chase Elliott, but still, Kyle Larson had a pretty good day, had a pretty good weekend. He was definitely the fastest Hendrick car all day. He did have a speeding penalty at one point, which kind of cost him, and he was battling with Bubba Wallace at one point, so that did suck for Kyle Larson, but hey, he was still able to get a nice solid 7th place finish, just trying to make a bit of a resurgence before the playoffs start. Richmond should go pretty well for Kyle Larson. I mean, that's not really his best short track, but he finished 5th there earlier this year, so he should do pretty well. He's been pretty good at the road courses as well. And then Daytona, he's also not good there as well. But Larson has been running pretty well, just one of his best runs in a while. Just starting to see Hendrick Motorsports starting to pick things up once again as the summer starts to come to a close. So a nice solid finish for the 5 team. Finishing 8th was Eric Jones. Eric Jones, what a day it has been for him. They even said on the broadcast today that for Eric Jones' team, they had this race circled on their calendar, especially after what we saw at Auto Club. Auto Club was an amazing performance from that 43 team, so they definitely had this one circled. And then they also said the next one they had circled was Daytona. So I think they're saying that Eric Jones' next best shot is going to be in that final race at Daytona. I mean, these last few races have been really good for Eric Jones. He got 4th at Atlanta, he got 9th at Pocono, and 8th today. Just has not been enough. But he still had one of the fastest cars all weekend long. And it didn't matter if he had that 35-point penalty after or before the Pocono race, still running really fine. So we'll see what happens with Eric Jones. I mean, Richmond... Richmond, he finished 23rd there, so we're not going to get into that, but we'll see how he'll do at Daytona, but just really close, really close, really close. So a driver like Eric Jones and Bubba Wallace has to be really scary for Blaney and Truex. Oh my god, I've been waiting for so long to say this. Alex Bowman finally got a top 10. Thank you. Please let this be the end of his summer break terror bad streak, whatever you want to call it. Please let's see him do good at Richmond next week. I mean, he literally won there last year, but Richmond earlier this year, he got 8th, which is not bad, so he should finish respectively in the top 10, or somewhere pretty good. Just no DNFs, okay? Heck, he had to start 30th in this race, so it shows that Greg Ives completely does not know what he's doing with these car setups, with Bowman having to start in the back. I don't know if it's a Bowman thing or Greg Ives thing. They just got to get things better with their qualifying sessions and practice sessions as well, but still a nice solid finish for Bowman. He's been climbing up through the field. He was running mostly in the top 15 for most of the race, but late in the race with some good strategy, he was able to get inside the top 10 and hold that off over Ty Gibbs to finish 9th. So a nice solid finish for the 48 team. Just finally a top 10 since the Coke 600. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright, I can stop panting now. So let's see how he'll do at Richmond. And rounding out the top 10 in his 3rd career Cup Series start, Ty Gibbs gets 10th. What a day for Ty Gibbs. Literally, he was one of the fastest Toyota. Well, he wasn't the fastest Toyota, but he was definitely fast. He almost made the final 10 to run for the pole, just was not enough. So he started 11th in this race, but still able to get a 10th place finish after he finished 16th at Pocono, 17th last week at Indy road course and getting 10th today. That is an average finish of, I believe, 14.3, so really good for Ty Gibbs. He made a little bit of a mistake, got into the wall a little bit. We got to give him some credit today, getting a 10th place finish. And they said at one point during the restart, the last restart, he was moving up the field, like made up like 12 spots, he even passed like Chase Elliott, but Chase Elliott was struggling today. But a nice solid finish for Ty Gibbs in the 45. I don't know if we'll see Kurt Busch in the number 45 at Richmond next week. Let's hope he will make it, because I don't know what's going to happen if he can't even make the playoffs, run a playoff race if he's hurt with a concussion. But we'll see. But a nice solid run for Ty Gibbs in the 45. And now let's rate this race. I remember going back to my video a year ago for Michigan. I rated it an 8.5 out of 10 because I said at that point that was the best Michigan race I've ever seen. This one definitely tops it. I mean, that one last year was good, but this one has been better with the next gen. We've seen even more stuff that the race last year did not have with the last time the next gen car would run at Michigan. I've already heard a lot of older NASCAR fans saying that the Gen 6 car killed Michigan, but Michigan kind of killed itself with that one repave. But hey, the track's starting to get worn out a little bit, so I'm pretty sure Michigan will probably get better as the years go on. I'm not sure. I'm not a track surface expert on asphalt. But anyway, if I had to rate this one, I'm going to give it a nice solid 9 out of 10. Just 9 out of 10. It was really solid. It wasn't like the best racing. I was still kind of annoyed with the frustrating parts where Bubba was trying to get around Logano and Bell was trying to get around Suarez. So that was kind of frustrating at one point. Kind of brought me back to that Kansas race in 2020 between Harvick and Logano at the end of that one. But I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It was really solid. Let me know what you guys would give it in the comment section below. For unlucky driver of the day, you have to give it to Kyle Busch. Literally, this guy had one of the fastest Toyotas all weekend long. He started third, ends up finishing 36 because of a wreck early in the race after the competition came out, because, you know, we had a bit of a rain delay that lasted about an hour. And then on the restart, Yaley kind of got loose, got into McDowell, and then collected Austin Cindric, but Austin Cindric had a really hard impact. Thank goodness he's okay. Also collected the two rookies, Gillen and Burton. Burton was out of the race after that. Almirola also had some damage, and like I said, good thing Cindric was okay. Bell went on to win the first stage, but that really sucks for Kyle Busch. Literally gets wrecked by the driver. Well, he doesn't actually get wrecked, but he gets caught up in the mess of the driver who used to drive the number 18 car years ago. And heck, it's funny how this happens to Yaley at Michigan, because he made his first Truck Series start at Michigan back in 2004. He freaking just ran the Xfinity race yesterday, and then out today just, yeah, causes calamity. So I don't know what to say about that, but it does suck for Kyle Busch. And they said on TV, 8 races in a row where Kyle Busch is not finished in the top 10. That is his longest streak, and his last top 10 finish was when he finished second to Logano at St. Louis. So yeah, Kyle Busch, their team is not going up right now. And for comeback driver of the day, I have to give it to Denny Hamlin. There's another point on, I don't know if Hamlin had 2 penalties in this race, but there's another point where Denny Hamlin had a bit of an issue, and he had to climb his way to the field and had that penalty at that last restart, but was able to climb all the way back to third. That shows you he had definitely one of the fastest cars to beat this weekend, but it just sucks that came up a bit too short in 31 penalties in 23 races. Not good, not good. And then for overall driver of the day, it was hard to decide between Bubba Wallace and Hamlin, but I'm going to give it to Bubba Wallace because just what a day it was. It could have been a beautiful ending with a win, just was not enough to catch Kevin Harvick with that big hold up from Joey Logano, and what, like, I don't know how many laps that cost him, but that sucked for Bubba Wallace. But he still had one of the fastest cars all day. He was definitely up there in contention, running in the top 10, top 5, top 15 at one point. Just really strong, just was not enough to close the deal. And now for our drivers of the day, an underdog driver of the day, I have to give it to Ty Gibbs. Literally, 3rd Cup Series start, gets a top 10 finish. He was actually in the lead at one point earlier in this race. And also, not only that, he was really close to qualifying top 10, or actually competing to qualify for the pole. Just was not enough to crack into the top 5 in his group. I think he was in Group B, so it does suck for Ty Gibbs. But hey, a top 10 is a top 10. I mean, you can't beat that. But I hope we do see Kurt Busch back in the 45 car next week at Richmond. But I'm not sure if it happened 3 weeks in a row. Could happen 4 weeks in a row, or maybe if Kurt Busch is ready to go, maybe they decide to rest him for a little bit, and maybe once the playoffs start at Darlington, they bring him back. So I don't know, that may be the safe route. But Ty Gibbs, I still think the plan for him is to run in Cup in 2024, but possibly make some part-time starts in 2023. Who knows? And that's also kind of weird. I just realized Ty Gibbs runs the 54 in Xfinity. He also won the Xfinity race yesterday, but now runs the 45 in Cup. Literally switching the numbers. Oh my gosh, so many conspiracies right now. And so now we have the playoff standings coming out of Michigan and going into Richmond next week. First off, of course, we have Chase Elliott with his 4 wins. And then with 2 wins, we have Chastain, Byron, Hamlin, Logano, and Tyler Reddick. Then the drivers with 1 win, we have Larson, Briscoe, Bell, Suarez, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bowman, and Cindric. And now Kevin Harvick. And then right above the cut line, the last driver in on points, Ryan Blaney plus 19, and then we have the cut line right here. And below it, we have Trix minus 19, Jones minus 190, Almirola minus 210, and then Bubba Wallace minus 235. Meaning these 3 drivers, they basically have to win. Trix can still get in on points, but he most likely just wants to see if he can get the win at Richmond next week, which I think he's capable of doing, but can he deliver? Will the pressure not get to him? We will have to see next week, but that will do it for today's video. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want to check out my gaming channel, NASCAR Gaming 48, link will be down in the description below. Should be uploading an F122 video up on my channel tomorrow, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel link in the description so you not miss that. Want to check out my Instagram, link will also be down in the description below. Subscribe over to this channel. We are at 192, 8 away from 200, so please get the viewership and sub count going. But I do really appreciate you guys who have stayed with me for these last few years. Really cool to still be making these videos, but that's going to do it for this one. I should have the video that I held off these last 2 weeks up this Wednesday, so make sure you guys watch that. But thank you guys so much for watching. See y'all in the next one. This is NASCAR Mobile 48. Peace out.